Yo, this is my first ever video on this channel, my first ever reaction video. So I just figured out this software and I chose this video because I have my own issues with addiction, not fentanyl, not opioids, alcohol, other illegal substances. And I'm not American. I live in Europe, I live in Belgium. So why do I choose this video? I've seen many videos, how the streets are in the US and the fentanyl problem. And many artists, many famous people have been lost to this. And many Americans. And it's starting to, come overseas. Like all trends do, good ones and bad ones. So I'm really not that familiar with Jelly Roller's music. I've seen a couple of his podcast interviews. I've heard some music, but I'm guessing, this is important. And, as an addict, you always, gravitate towards these kinds of things, for good or for bad, so I think that's long enough for an intro for a first video. Probably most of you have already clicked away. I hope my English is not too bad for you. But let's check this one out.
Used to having a rock and roll band behind me when I have a microphone in front of me. During the time that I've been given to share my testimony here, I think it's important to note before I start that in these 5 minutes I'll be speaking that somebody in the United States will die of a drug overdose, and it is almost a 72% chance that during those 5 minutes it will be fentanyl related.
That is heartbreaking because I realize while I am watching this video, while I'm sitting here, somebody, probably will pass away because of an overdose or, because of fentanyl. Yo, that is a really, really, I would say bitter pill to swallow, but it's worse than that. It's sad.
Having started that way, Chairman Brown, Ranking Member Scott, and esteemed committee members, thank you for having me. I know this is a bit of a curveball, but I like a little baseball myself. My name is Jason D. Ford, but to most I am known as Jelly Roll.
It's not really important for this video, but as, in Europe, we don't really know too much about baseball. We're in that soccer camp over here that we just call football.
It is important to establish earlier that I am a musician and that I have no political alliance. I am neither Democrat nor Republican. In fact, because of my past, my right to vote has been restricted. Thus far, I have never paid attention to a political race in my life. Ironically,
it is a political year, not only in the U.S., for us over here too. There's like 3 different votings we have to go, like the national stuff, the European stuff, and then on a local level. But in the U.S., it's it's going to be an interesting year, to say the least. But I didn't know he couldn't even vote. He can't even vote, probably because he's been in jail. That's the same over here. I didn't know that.
I think that makes me the perfect person to speak about this because fentanyl transcends partisanship and ideology, gentlemen and women.
Facts.
This is a totally different problem. And I was speaking outside to the media, and I gave them a statistic that said 190 people a day overdose and die every single day in the United States of America. That is about a 737 plane. That's what about a 737 aircraft can carry. Could you imagine the national media attention it would get if they were reporting that a plane was crashing every single day and killing 190 people?
Of course, it's not in a single location, but, if you put it like that, of course there's other things people die of every day, and but this is, it's a problem that, can be looked at and maybe not fully solved, but at least, because a lot of these people, they start out just on like painkillers. You hurt your back, you broke your leg, and they give you these opioids. I've seen those, documentaries and shows about, the Sackler family and how they, skyrocketed the sales of OxyContin in the US. And, you can still get it here as well. But, these people have never touched, not all of them, of course, I know, but some of these people, have never touched a drug in their life. And then, you start to get addicted. You can't get the pills. The next best thing, you get on the streets. Oh my God, that is.
But because it's 190 drug addicts, we don't feel that way. Because America has been known to bully and shame drug addicts instead of dealing and trying to understand what the actual root of the problem is with that. But the sad news is that narrative is changing too, because the statistics say that in all likelihood, almost every person in this room has lost a friend, family member, or colleague to the disease known as addiction.
Oh man, I've seen it. It must be scary for parents out there. I have a little girl. She's 7, and I've seen, people just, they have Narcan in their fridge or, on their person just in case, how did it get this far? I don't know. And, you can school me in the comments, and I know there's a camp that believes addiction is a disease and believes it's not a disease, it's a choice. I think it's a spectrum. I've been addicted. Of course, picking up a drink or whatever was my choice. But once you get in that, when you get deep into it, man, it's, I don't know, man. I can't say it's not a choice, but I can't say it's a choice either. You have to have gone through it to truly understand it. But I get the both camps. It's a problem. It's a huge problem.
I've attended more funerals than I care to share with y'all. This committee, I could sit here and cry for days about the caskets I've carried of people I loved dearly, deeply, in my soul, good people, not just drug addicts, uncles, friends, cousins, normal people. Some people that just got in a car wreck and started taking a pain pill to manage it. One thing led to the other. And how fast it spirals out of control, I don't think people truly.
I think he's, truly understand. I could finish. Addicts can finish addicts can finish each other's sentences. Sorry for that. This is my first video, man. But yeah, man, it can go so fast. Like, you just get to a point and you look back and you say, how the hell did I get to this point? I didn't see myself like this, just a year ago. So yeah, man, it's crazy.
Truly understand. So many people. Equally, I think it's important for me to tell y'all that I'm not here to defend the use of illegal drugs. And I also understand the paradox of my history as a drug dealer standing in front of this committee.
Oh.
But equally, I think that's what makes me.
I did not know he used to deal drugs. As a former user, you can definitely speak on it. A dealer, it's tough, but I think it's commendable he's doing this. I guess he paid for his crimes. I'm not going to judge, because I'm not without my own sins. But yeah, sorry for stopping it so much, but I just wanted to give my insights on this video. Even, I don't know if there's any value in that. This is powerful.
Perfect to talk about this. I was a part of the problem. I am here now standing as a man that wants to be a part of the solution. I brought my community down. I hurt people. I was the uneducated man in the kitchen playing chemist with drugs I knew absolutely nothing about, just like these drug dealers are doing right now when they're mixing every drug on the market with fentanyl, and they're killing the people we love.
That's the crazy thing. What I've been seeing is that, almost every drug now, or a lot of drugs, are laced with fentanyl. And I've heard stories. I don't know if they're 100% correct. Like people taking a Xanax just, to relax or for anxiety or panic attacks. And if it's laced with fentanyl, you can just get addicted or worse, overdose. Like that's crazy, I come from a time where, I'm lucky that I got to experiment with this stuff. I'm not saying it's good or bad to experiment, but we're so lucky that we're still here that it's so scary out there now, man. You should definitely stay away from it. And I don't want to lecture, but man, this is our life. You only got one.
I'll be honest with y'all. My desire is to only get older and only do better and be better. I believed when I sold drugs
I felt
genuinely that
that.
selling drugs was a victimless crime. I truly believe that, y'all. My father always told me what doesn't get you in the wash will get you in the rinse. Now I have a 15-year-old daughter whose mother is a drug addict. Every day I get to look in the eyes of a victim in my household of the effects of drugs. Every single day. And every single day I have to wonder, if me and my wife, if today will be the day that I have to tell my daughter that her mother became a part of the national statistic. History repeats itself.
That's sad, man. You know, and I immediately think about the people around me, that had to live, you know, with me. It's tough for the people that are living with addicts too.
Gentlemen, even in the 1990s, crack cocaine had long made its way into my middle lower class neighborhood. And at that moment, even as a teenager, you could have never convinced me in that moment that there would be a far bigger problem on the horizon in the form of a pharmaceutical drug. And then I watched opioids and Oxycontin burst onto the scene. I'm here to tell y'all that fentanyl is going to make the Sackler family look like saints. And I want to let y'all sit with that for a second.
I just mentioned the Sackler family because I've seen Dope Sick and the other one on Netflix that I'm blanking on right now, and of course other documentaries. I watch the Soft White Underbelly channel a lot. If you're not familiar with that, go check it out. It's really good, but it has some sad stories on it. It's on YouTube. But yeah, it's crazy if you look back. Crack cocaine epidemic, really bad, and then something else comes along that's even worse, and you can't even imagine something else is gonna come along. That's gonna be even worse. Wow.
It is time for us to be proactive and not reactive. We were reactive with crack, we were reactive with opioids, and y'all are taking the first step at somebody in Senate finally being proactive. I truly believe in my heart that this bill will stop the supply and can help stop the supply of fentanyl. But in part of being proactive, gentlemen and women and ladies, I have to be frank and tell y'all that if we don't talk to the other side of Capitol Hill and stop the demand, we are going to spin our tires in the mud. Y'all are taking the first step, but I encourage you to take it outside of this room and you take it to your colleagues and your constituents and you give them the most that you can. I know I've got a few seconds here, and Senator Brown said I may or may not go over. All I want to say is that I not only encourage y'all to do this, I encourage y'all to take it a step further. At every concert I perform, I witness the heartbreaking impact of fentanyl. I see fans grappling with this tragedy in the form of music, that they seek solace in music and hope that their experiences won't.
Oh yeah, that's true, man. Music definitely helped me. While I was going through stuff, I know he's big on YouTube right now, at least for reaction channels. I might do some, but I've listened to them all. Eminem. I know there's a lot of haters out there. There's a lot of people that love him. But for me, there were some songs in there, especially because he dealt with addiction as well, that really spoke to me. And I've been listening to him since, 2001 or something, 2000 even, when I was 13 years old. So yeah, I get that music, man. It's powerful, but sometimes, it can glorify the use of drugs, and definitely did that. But nowadays he spinned it and he flipped it.
All others. They crave reassurance. These are the people I'm here to speak for, y'all. These people crave reassurance that their elected officials actually care more about human life than they do about ideology and partisanship. I stand here as a regular member of society. I am a stupid songwriter, y'all, but I have firsthand witnessed this in a way most people have not. I encourage y'all to not only pass this bill, but I encourage you to bring it up where it matters, at the kitchen table. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. D. Ford.
Wow. You know, that was it's powerful. I don't know, does it have any effect? What do other people think about this? But I do recognize this is an issue, especially in the US. It's coming over here as well. It's sad, and some of these people are forgotten, and I understand a lot of crime comes with that too. Some people, you know, they don't understand. Some people don't want to get better. You know, it is what it is, man. But some people really need help, and even people that are not addicted yet, people that, you know, are on the cusp of this, of discovering this stuff. So yeah, man. And if you're struggling right now, I truly hope you can get better. I did it. It wasn't fentanyl, but my God, did I relapse a few times and went to the hospital a few times. So it's tough to get out of it, but it's definitely worth fighting for. And I commend him. And he owned up to his crimes. He said, I was part of the problem. He's not without sin. Nobody is. I think, somebody out there without sins. I don't know. But I hope I did pretty good for my first video. And that you could understand me. And this is powerful, man. And I'm definitely going to, keep up with everything that's going on around, drugs and addiction, in the US or everywhere. It speaks to my heart. It's near and dear to me because, I almost wasn't here. So to end on a positive note, I guess, no, man, it's good. But, I'm rambling right now. That means you got to cut the video off. Sorry. I will see you in the next one, hopefully. Peace.